What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake, and today I kind of find myself on a Sunday. Both my wife and the baby are sick. I'm still feeling good, so we're not really going out on the boat today. Normally that's what we like to do on Sundays, but since they're sick, they're kind of laying low in the house. They're actually both down for a nap right now. I just got done unloading some equipment from a job I went and did yesterday. You'll see that, well, you've probably already seen that in a video by now. Something I wanted to address that's kind of been irking at me is this road here. Let me show you why. So obviously I brought in a ton of fill, if you guys have been following along with the channel, to level out this road and kind of make it a little more gradual and not so steep going up to the new barn here. And we did that in the late winter, early spring, and it came out great. You know, now we can get pretty much even sedan cars. I can drive my Ford Fusion, the little beater car, all the way up to the barn, no problem. But with all the rain that we've been having, the erosion has been something quite fierce. And as you can see down here, it has completely covered up all the millings here with all of the fine, you know, sandy type material that has washed down and eroded from all of the fill that we brought in. Not to mention all of the growth that has been occurring on either side, the left and the right of the road here, which is actually a good thing. I wanted weeds and stuff to grow up because I want it to kind of stabilize and help, you know, the roots and everything, just hold everything together, pack it all in nice. But now that this has all been pretty well established for several months now, I think it's time that we start covering it with a little bit more of a permanent covering, you know, road base by way of asphalt millings. Now you'll see, if you look all the way over there, gleaming in the sunlight, I have a big pile of asphalt millings that I've stockpiled for quite some time now. And my plan is to use that on this road here to not only build it up a little bit more, make it a little more gradual, but prevent the erosion and, you know, just kind of pack it in, give it a nice road base. Because as you can see, aside from the areas I really don't drive and, you know, kind of the edges, the weeds really don't grow up through these asphalt millings. They pack so nice and tight that it gives it a really nice, you know, driving surface. And with all the equipment and trucks and stuff, it breaks up all the chunks that come out of these unscreened asphalt millings. I think the plan is I'm going to use the Baumalight mini dumper to shuttle loads, because that can hold about 3 tractor buckets full of material. It's about 1.25 cubic yards, as opposed to taking individual tractor buckets back and forth and back and forth. So that's the plan. But first, let's get to weed whacking. All right, well, that took about 10 minutes total. So now that that's taken care of, can hop on the mini dumper and we'll drive it over to the pile over there and start loading it up and taking some mini dumps. Now, that's not to be confused with spicy dumps. If you guys watch Kyle Spicer's channel, this is the Baumalight mini dumper. I love this thing. Don't use it all that often, but when you need it, super handy to have. Probably pretty darn compacted in here. The pile's been here a while. I'm just gonna try to break it up a little bit. As I said, this stuff compacts very, very well. Loosen up about 3 tractor buckets full. Memory, let's see. Tractor buckets are a little wider than real tractor buckets. So I do have some gravel up here at the top, just stay out of the mud when all the contractors were up here. So I'm not gonna bother spreading millings up there for right now. We're just gonna start kind of where the gravel ends. right, guys, we got 12 loads up here with the mini dumper. Just kind of spread them out. I want to spread this on really nice and thick. I'd like to cover up all of the rocks kind of on the edge here and going down here as well. Just build up the road, make it all the less steep. The higher I can make this part, the more gradual it'll be to get up to the top to the barn. So we will attack this another time as far as spreading it out. That's all the time I have right now. Got to go help Mama and the baby. As I said, they're not feeling too well, but yeah, this is a good start. And that mini dumper, boy, that thing, like I said in the beginning, I don't use it all that often, but when you need it, it is a super handy tool to have around. All right, so I really didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. So we're gonna spread out some of these piles here. Just gonna try to level them out a bit so I could get up to the high side, and then we'll push them down. Just like that. All right, so that's a pretty good start here. Those, I don't know how many piles we had, 15 or something that we counted up yesterday. They spread out pretty good. I got a nice several inch thick layer on top of all of the dirt and stuff. Started to get a little thinner down here. So I'll probably start dumping some more piles kind of in this general area and keep on going. I did, however, get wind that next week my asphalt milling supplier should be working in our area and he should be able to drop me off some more loads. But he has said that in the past. He said that a couple weeks ago and I never got any loads. So I don't really want to just solely rely on that. So I'd like to get at least a thin layer of millings down on this whole road area. And then if we get more loads in the future, he'll just dump them right here and then we'll have even thicker of a layer of millings to really lock in and, you know, not have to worry about this road for many, many years. All right, got another 12 loads up here. So now I'm gonna hop on the tractor and spread this stuff out. It's like 6:30. I gotta put the little guy to bed around 7. So hopefully we can bang this out in the next half hour or so. I think we should. Well, that took about 20 minutes, 6:53. I'm gonna make it in for bedtime on time, which is important, but this is looking good. We just got that last section down at the bottom to do. This was some major progress. So the more that I drive on it and track it in, you know, the more that these big chunks will break up, the more the humps and bumps will level out. With the sun baking on it, this stuff does a really good job of getting hard again and kind of really compacting.
think this should serve our purposes for now, time being, until we can get concrete ramp poured. Should serve our purposes quite well. So much so that we're actually going to try it out in just a second. Now, I have not pulled anything into this building due to the issues we've been having with the concrete, but I got to do, and I'm running out of time to do it. I'm gonna move all the toys out of the way, pulling Daddy's toys. Hopefully the truck fits. That would be some.
Look at that. Plenty of room in the front. Plenty of room up top. Plenty of room behind. We're all set here. Plenty of room for there still to be equipment even on the sides. You could fit the excavator over here. You could fit the excavator over here. You could fit the tractor. That was the plan. And there's my buddy Eric, mobile fabricator. He's gonna be helping me out with a little project here. All right, so we had some pretty crazy rain yesterday, like about 3 inches came down in a matter of like an hour and a half. So everything looks pretty good up here, but as you can see, where everything started draining off the lawn, created like a total washout here and really started to wash out the road that we had just put all these asphalt millings on. So I'm actually supposedly getting triaxle loads dumped here tomorrow. So I really want them to be able to get up as high up here as possible so I can cover this and coat it real nice and thick. So yeah, we need to get this fixed up. You know, 6-8 inches of millings down on top there, but these washouts are no good. I think another big factor here is this pile. If this pile wasn't here, it would have stayed kind of in the ditch line and just run down along the road. I don't think the issue was so much the water draining from up here because it has all this gravel to slow it. It looks like it was more an issue all the water draining off the lawn and coming down into here. I mean, maybe some of this drained over this way, but it looks like the water really drained kind of off the lawn and went down and trickled down this way. All right, well, hopefully, I think that should be good enough for the trucks to get up. I'm honestly more worried about this loose gravel. This stuff, if you slow down, it does kick out pretty easy. This was pretty much clean stone, just left over from the building pad, and I needed to put it on the front side underneath that roof, you know, where the water drops off, and back here, which as you can see, I've done for stormwater mitigation. I think I'm gonna have those guys, if they can, just bring loads all the way up here. I need to cover up that pipe somehow, like this might work. There we go. That's a little better. Oh, and by the way, this is how much rain fell last night in about an hour and a half. I mean, I don't know what that equates to in inches, but that's a lot. All right, so I got my buddy Hayes here. We're gonna hop in the excavator, just tracked it up. And I'm gonna try to push this pile out a little bit, sort out some of the logs and stuff, and try to establish a little bit more of a, you know, ditch here on the high side of the road. And then my plan is to come and take some of these bigger rocks that are right on the edge, but I don't necessarily want to cover those up. So I'm gonna push them up to the high side of the hill and stack them. That way we can continue building the boulder wall coming all the way up. You know, eventually I'd like to continue it and have it come all the way up the edge of the road. All right, this is looking better, I guess. Unfortunately, I got a little ahead of myself way early on and started stacking this stone wall. I didn't realize how much we were gonna lift up the grade of this road. So a lot of it has gotten buried, which, you know, is fine. There's plenty of rocks around here, but I was just trying to pull out some of the ones that were on the surface and put them back. Pull down the hillside a little bit, widen this out, because it was getting kind of narrow right here. Down here, we're gonna have to, you know, address once we build it back up, but I think this should be plenty good for the triaxles to come in, and hopefully they can fill up this whole area with asphalt millings and we will have an abundance of material. Okay, we are back a few days later. Sarah and I went up to Saratoga Springs over the weekend, but as you can see, we got 3 loads of asphalt millings late afternoon Friday. And the reason why we didn't get more was the driver said that the rest of his loads that day were pretty below par, not really good material, a lot of sweepings and like dustings, not actual good millings material. So he decided to take it elsewhere and not stick me with it. So I can't blame him for that. This should be plenty to take care of this whole, you know, upper area of what we have cleared so far. I'm probably not gonna spread it in front of the, you know, attachments, everything over here, just on the main drive areas. They are calling for 2 to 4 inches of rain over the next like 36 hours here in Connecticut. For like the majority of the state is at risk of getting like 2 inches, some places 3 to like 5 inches of rain over the next 36 hours. So I'm kind of torn as to whether I should just leave this stuff and spread it out, or leave this stuff with all the rain coming and just let whatever wash out, or try to spread it. But I think I've come to the conclusion that I want to try to spread it, and at least that'll give me a little bit more of a protective layer over, you know, this stuff up here that's largely unprotected. I'm pretty happy with how that came out. We had just enough to do like this whole upper area, kind of like I thought, and I think we got pretty good coverage out of it. I was able to get pretty close to the building. I didn't want to get too close because I do still need to show the town that I put in this gravel, you know, along the drip edge. But you can see I kind of tapered it in, so that way I can just hand rake it a little closer up to the door. That way it'll be easier to get in and out the ATV and whatever, you know, I got to pull in there for the time being. But yeah, I mean, we built it up a good amount. I mean, you can see over here, it's definitely, you know, thick, and then it kind of thins out and tapers out, but this was a low spot, and you can see by just all the water, the way that it was still wet, it was pooling. So hopefully all of this porous asphalt millings, I'm hoping, will, you know, act as a permeable layer that the water will go down and get trapped in, and it'll kind of slow it down from washing out the you know, road here. But you know, when you're getting huge crazy downpours, the water's going to do what it's going to do, and it won't have time to permeate down because it's going to be coming down so fast. So we'll see if this works or not. Well, I went ahead and hit it with the plate compactor once. I don't know, we'll see how that does, but it's looking good. I'm real happy with this. Hopefully this will not completely wash out with all this rain that we're getting. Like I said, we will check back in after the storm, or maybe during the storm tomorrow. But yeah, I'm glad to have knocked these piles down, and plenty more where this comes from. I got probably another like 50 yards down there, and then I should be getting some more loads hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so. Okay guys, we are out here a couple days after the big rainstorm. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I did come out the following morning. However, I don't know what happened to the video clip. I went onto the computer, going through all the clips, uploaded it to my editing software. Clips are gone. So we're redoing this clip. That's part of doing this whole YouTube thing. You know, we have our issues just like other people have issues. Not everything is rainbows and unicorns. However, I am happy to report that nothing got washed out on the road. So I think the asphalt millings really worked. As you can see, we're up here, you know, by the building, the ramp that I built up, all that is looking real good. We have been driving on it the past couple days and going all the way down through here. You can see there's no real washouts or gullies or anything. I think this area where I had put the rocks, I've now since moved some stuff around for other projects, but I think the water really did kind of just like run down in here. You can almost see where it was going, and followed this little ditch line, and then just kind of permeated down into the ground, because it did the first time before we had moved all this stuff. It had washed out right here. You can see the little spot right there, and it had come out and washed out the whole center of the road, which did not happen this time, which is awesome. We still need to move some more asphalt millings to that bottom section of the road and this kind of middle in-between section, but you might see up there is a Bobcat skid steer for a different video and project that we're filming that could help with that a little bit. So we still do have plenty of asphalt millings down in that pile. I'd say about 50 yards or so. So that is something that I'm gonna work on. But for the time being, I think you guys kind of get the gist of what's going on here. Little update, you know, as far as covering up the road and everything. Pretty repetitive, so I don't think we need to film the entire rest of the project, but you will see it finished in the future. Not to mention, what I'm looking at over here right now is looking pretty awesome. But again, that is for another video involving this Bobcat skid steer. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, drop a comment down below. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.